Okay, hi everybody. I got this little Rudolph craft that I'm going to use for the birthday party that I'm doing this weekend. And I just thought I might give you a little idea how I put that together. I've got my brown paper and I've got some festive, wintry, Christmassy type stuff for the background. And then as much as I'm not crazy about using foam that much, it's not very environmentally friendly, I'm going to use a little bit of it just. So the first thing I did was to sketch the head out on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I don't really need a 12 by 12. One of the little leftover spaces, you want to make this big U shape, which is going to turn out to be the body. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is put a white circle for the nose and then two white circles for the eyes, some kind of lighter colored paper. And what I did was fold it in half so that they will roughly come out to be about the same. So the next thing we need are the antlers, and obviously my hand is bigger than a kid's hand, so I might have to adjust it a little bit. But the other thing is to fold a piece of paper in half. That way when they're cutting it out, they only have to cut it out one time. And it comes out great if it doesn't look like a hand, because it'll look like, an antler. It doesn't have to, we don't really want hands on the top. So if they're not the greatest at cutting, it's still okay for them to cut it out themselves. I cut out my hands, and turns out they were a little too big, so I had to cut a finger off of each of them, and I used those to put a little change of color inside the ears. Alright, so the last thing to cut out would be a big circle that's going to go in the nose, and then this is going to be for the eyes, so that you can just do two at a time. See if they'll come out evenly again. And then a super sparkly red nose, because it's Rudolph. So the great thing about the sticky foam is that kids have a hard time gluing really small things. For the smaller things, I'm just going to use the peel-off sticky foam, and it's pretty awesome stuff for things like that. Alright, so now we have all the parts ready to go. It just needs to get glued down and some final touches and snowflakes. And to make it a lot easier, instead of using glue, I'm just going to use white paint to do the gluing and the painting. So we'll just do the body first. I'll put that right down here at the very bottom. So when you're an adult and you're doing a craft, it's really satisfying to make everything come out like you just got it out of a store. But when you're a kid, what's really satisfying is to be able to do it yourself. So as much as possible, let the kids draw the different parts, let them cut things out. If they can draw things but they can't cut out, then when you do it for them, try to cut on the lines they made and let it seem like it was their own. So first, you want to heap some snow on those antlers. And the one thing about putting on snow is be generous. After that, put the snowflakes on all over. Make sure you put some right on top of the reindeer so he looks like he's really out there in the snow. Thank you for listening. This is Valerie Wallace of Valerie Wallace Fine Arts.